So for you ladies out there, if a lot of you have been wondering why men tend to really like nasty women, it is because the spirit of that man has not been cleansed by Jesus Christ. A lot of you men out there, you might wonder why a lot of women like nasty men. It is because the spirit of that woman has not been cleaned by Jesus Christ. So whoredom is a turn on because whoredom, a whore is who they are. And people may say, oh, those words seem harsh. Well, Father used them. The Father said a whore is a deep ditch. And I think he wrote a strange woman is a narrow pit. Because once you fall into something like this, it's difficult to pull your way out because, that's the reason why pornography is so dangerous. And it is so accessible on the internet. And, the thing about the spirit of pornography, that's the spirit of perversion too, you guys. I hope you guys know that. That is the spirit of perversion. There's a spirit behind pornography because Satan knows that sex is the one thing that he can use to debilitate humanity, because sex is something that is tied into the fiber of your humanity. That's something that God gave you, but he didn't give it to you for you to pervert it. So that's the reason why a lot of women feel like they can use sex to keep a man in chains and in bondage. Or a lot of men feel like they can use sex to keep a woman in chains and in bondage. And as long as that person yields to that toxic spirit, they will just be entrapped in that type of perversion, Because believe it or not, you guys, all sin is perversion. Because all sin is the operation of something that is not in agreement with God. If something is not in agreement with God, it has been perverted. So it's fair to say that when Adam sinned against God, he perverted the human race. Although we know sometimes we define perversion as something different, but to be honest, all sin is perversion because it's not the normal way to act. It's the abnormal way to act. Sin turned humanity into somewhat of a cancerous state. And I'm not speaking that on anybody, but I'm just saying it calls its growths to grow on the spirit of humanity, the growth of fornication, the growth of adultery, the growth of racism, the growth of hate, the growth of the Jezebel spirit, whether if it's male or female, the growth of perversion, the growth of pornography, the growth of pedophilia for those that wrestle with that spirit, because there's a spirit behind even pedophilia. That's the reason why God can forgive a pedophile, because and that's not to say that people are not responsible for their actions, but you must know, you wrestle not, whoever you are out there, with flesh and blood. There's a spirit that wants to do that to children. A demonic, filthy, wicked spirit. And when people come into this world, these spirits study you enough to know what your weaknesses are. Anything that you watch and observe and meditate on day and night, you know its likes, its dislikes, its weaknesses, and its strengths. That's the reason why it is important to build yourself up on your most holy faith. That is the reason why it is important to put on the whole armor of God so that you can stand against the wiles of the devil. Because a wile of the devil is this thing speaking to you in your mind with disturbing thoughts and then telling you they're your thoughts when they're not. They came from the mind of this, who is following the orders of Satan, the devil. See, once you know who your enemy is, you know how to fight him. And our weapons of warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. The Jezebel spirit is a demonic stronghold because that's a woman that uses sex to keep a man in bondage. That's a man that uses sex to keep a woman in bondage. That's a whore spirit. That's the Jezebel spirit. The only way to break that is by the weaponry of God. And we have verification of that located in the Holy Bible in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. You got to put on the shield of faith. the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, having your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, the helmet of salvation. All that armor will protect you from this.